The Broncos suck. Their coach sucks. Their quarterback sucks. Their organization sucks. But the Ravens just lost to the Jags, who suck. Hello, folks, and welcome back to another edition of Bet the House. I'm your host, as always, Club, and with me is, oh baby, we got a solo squad, Zeppy. What's going on? I would go over the recaps, but fuck that. We both did terrible. Gibby and I both did terrible. I did terrible. I technically beat him, but it was like minus 12 units. Throw it in the garbage. It was a holiday. We were betting out of our ass. It's a new week. Week 13 of the NFL season, and I'm gearing up to go. No passing this week. Just me. Let's see how well I can rant. First up, Thursday, December 1st, 8:15 p.m. Bills, minus 215, going at the Patriots, plus 185. Over-under's 43.5. Spread is 4.5. And this is an interesting one, folks. We got a divisional game. Both teams trying to make the playoffs. Bills probably definitely will, but Patriots fighting. Last year, these teams played in Foxborough, and it was like the craziest game ever. It was a snow game. I think the Patriots threw the ball like 1 to 3 times. It was nutsos, all right? And I'm gonna stick with kind of what happened last year. I don't think it's gonna be a blizzard, but I'm taking the Patriots. Patriots plus 4.5. The Bills have been squeaking by their wins. They won last week against the Lions by 3. And I just think Bill Belichick's kind of got Josh Allen's number a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. Patriots plus 4.5. Let's go with it. Next up, moving on to Sunday, 1 o'clock slate. First up, we got the Jets going to the Vikings. The Jets are plus 140. Vikings minus 165. Over-under's 46. The spread is 3. And this is a tough one for me to pick. The Jets, right, their defense is elite, probably best top 5 in the league. Their offense is terrible, although they're just coming off a week where they scored 31 points. Mike White, baby, fucking got that midget out of there. What was his name? What's his name? Zach Wilson? Yeah, he sucks. Get him out of there. Mike White, it's his show. Meanwhile, the Vikings just won a game in prime time on Thanksgiving. Kirk Cousins had a good game. They've got the mini bye. They got like a week and a half off. It's kind of a tough game to pick. I think I'm going to lean the Jets just because I've been betting against the Vikings all year, and I'm not going to stop now. So give me the Jets plus 3. And moving on, we've got the return of Deshaun Watson. Browns minus 320, Texans plus 265, over-under's 47, spread is 7, and this is an awesome game. Deshaun Watson's first game back from raping half of the masseuses in the United States of America, allegedly. And it's going to be interesting to see how the Browns look with a real quarterback. Jacoby Brissett finally gets to see the bench. The Texans suck. They've lost 6 games in a row. It's the most in the league at the moment. They're 1-9-1. Like they're going for the first overall pick. They want one of those quarterbacks in the draft. But with that said, I think they're going to be a little bit pissed. They're at home. Deshaun Watson's coming back. They fucking hate him. The Browns have good games and then they have bad games. And last week they had a good game, so they're due for a bad game. I'm going to take the Texans here. Plus 7. I wish it was a little more. I wish it was like plus 10. But I'm going to ride. Go Houston. Up next, we've got the Broncos plus 300 going at the Ravens minus 365. Over-under's 38.5. Spread is 8.5. And another interesting one, I mean, the Broncos suck. Their coach sucks. Their quarterback sucks. Their organization sucks. But the Ravens just lost to the Jags, who suck. So it's kind of a tough spot. I'm probably going to go with the under. The Broncos unders have been great. I bet their under last week. It was under 35, and it still hit 38.5. Well, shit, I'll take the extra points. Ravens haven't been scoring great anyway. Both these teams are led by their defense, so this under 38.5 looks pretty free. Moving on, we've got 2 kind of gross organizations. We've got the Jags minus 120 going at the Lions plus 100. Over-under's 51.5. That's a lot, and the spread is 1.5. Another kind of tough one. Both these teams 4-7, both kind of looking good. Lions had a good fight against the Bills. They still lost, but it was a good fight. Jags obviously just beat the Ravens last week. I think I'm going to just go with the home team here because it's basically a pick 'em. Lions plus 100. I'm not even going to take the points. I'll just take the plus 100. Is that what I got on my sheet there? Yeah, that's what I got. So that's what I'm going with. That's what I'm going with. I'm confident. Lions plus 100. Next up, we've got the Titans plus 200 going at the Eagles minus 240. The over-under's 44.5 and the spread is 5. I think the Eagles are frauds. I mean, I'm a Giants fan. I'll put that out there. So I am like an NFC East guy. So I kind of cheer against the Eagles, the Commanders, and the Cowboys. So a little bit biased, take that in with what it is, but the Eagles have really struggled against the run without Brandon Davis, something like that. Their D tackle, it's a monster out of Alabama. And what do the Titans do? They run the fucking ball. Derrick Henry, I think he's going to eat up the Eagles. I think he runs for like 150 yards in this game, really slows the clock down and kind of puts it to the Eagles. And plus 200, like plus 5's an awesome number. They can still lose by a field goal. So yeah, give me the Titans plus 5 all day. Easy money. Lock it in. Next up, Commanders minus 135 going at the Giants plus 115. The over-under's 40.5. Spread is 2.5. And obviously, I've already mentioned it. I am a Giants fan. This is a biased take. Take that for what it's worth. This is kind of a tale of two teams here. The Commanders are surging. They've won what, 3 games in a row. They're 7-5. The Giants have lost 2 in a row. They're only 7-4. It's kind of like two teams trending in the opposite directions. So I would say you probably should bet on the Commanders here, but I'm taking the home team. Giants, G-Men, plus 2.5. I'm taking the points because I'm so scared of this bet. So G-Men, plus 2.5. Take it to the bank. Or actually probably don't take it to the bank, but I'm taking it to the bank. Next up, Steelers minus 120 at the Falcons, plus 100. Pretty much a pick 'em. Over-under's 43.5. Spread is 1.5. And I don't really understand this line. Like, the Falcons obviously haven't been good. They lost last week. But the Steelers haven't been great either. They've been a little bit better. They obviously won on Monday night against the Colts. But I just think the Falcons are still fighting. They're only 1 game out of a playoff spot because their division's so bad. Meanwhile, the Steelers are completely out of the playoff picture. So the Steelers really should be trying to tank at this point while the Falcons are still kind of fighting. So I'll take the home team that has a fighting shot at the playoffs. I'll take the Falcons, and I'll take plus 100. Fuck the spread. Next up, big rivalry game. We got the Packers minus 180 at the Bears plus 155. The over-under's 43.5. Spread is 4. And this is a tough one, right? Because at this point in time, when I'm sitting here right now, Aaron Rodgers sounds like he's good to go, and Justin Fields is up in the air. So if we have both quarterbacks playing, I kind of like the Bears at home, even though Aaron Rodgers owns them. I just think it's their time to start winning some games in this rivalry. But with things still being up in the air, I probably have to lean Packers. Oh, I don't really know. What's my sheet saying? Oh, okay. So I do a little pre-show research here, and then I kind of forget about everything that I write down. I'm going to go with what I wrote down. Give me the over in this game, over 43.5. Hopefully both quarterbacks play, and if they do, they're smashing this over. Like, the Bears have the worst defense in the league. Mike White on the Jets put up 31 points on the Bears last week. Meanwhile, the Bears put up 10 points on the Falcons, or on the Jets D, which is actually okay considering the Jets defense is so good and they didn't have Justin Fields. If Justin Fields is back, this game smashes the over. Like, this is like a 40-30 game. If he's not in, I still think it's got a decent shot at going over. So I actually really like that overplay. Like that one. Take that one to the bank. All right, next up, moving into the afternoon games. This is best game of the I guess there's 2 really good games. Man, it's so disappointing, the Sunday night game with these 2 games in the afternoon, but regardless, I'll start with this one. Dolphins plus 175 going to the 49ers minus 205. The over-under's 46. Spread is 4. And these are 2 teams that are legitimately could make the Super Bowl, could win the Super Bowl. I love both these teams. This is a tale of offense versus defense. Dolphins maybe the best offense in the league right now. And 49ers maybe the best defense, really shutting teams down. They literally shut out, the Saints this past week? They won 13-0. I kind of forget who against, but whatever. I kind of lean the 49ers, especially at home, and defense typically does beat offense, but I just don't trust Jimmy G. You see how he struggles when the team gets down early, and I think the Dolphins could easily put up a touchdown the first minute of this game, like Tyreek Hill, streak gone, touchdown, and then all of a sudden Jimmy sweating. So for that reason, and for the reason that the line is this wide, I am going to take the Dolphins plus 4. But I wouldn't be surprised to see them kind of get stifled by the Niners. So that's a bit of a risky one, but I'm taking it. Dolphins plus 4. Moving on, we got an ugly one. The Seahawks minus 345 going at the Rams plus 285. The over-under's 41 and the spread is 7.5. Like, it's really just hard to pick one of these teams. The Seahawks, kind of like the Giants, are starting to show their true colors. Like, we thought they were going to be a bad team going into the season, and then they had that crazy run where they were 6-3 and blah, blah, blah. Well, now they've lost 2 games in a row. They lost to the Raiders last week, who suck. But that is the question. Do the Raiders suck more than the Rams? Ooh, that's tough. The Raiders offense at times comes alive, but the Rams offense never comes alive. The Seahawks are still fighting for their division, even though the Niners are in the lead now and they probably run the table. But I think the Seahawks do have the fight. Pete Carroll's the better coach. Sean McVay got KO'd last week, and so his playbook's going to be a mess. I'm going to take the Seahawks and the points, -7.5. I hate that it's -7.5, but that's a plug your nose, take it, and don't watch the game, and hopefully the Rams score 3 points. So Seahawks -7.5. Next up, another awesome game. Another game that should be in the Sunday night slate, but the fucking NFL is trying to fuck us. I don't know what's going on. But Chiefs -130 at the Bengals +110. The over-under is 52.5. Spread is 2. And this is a tough one to pick, but I think I'm going to go with the Bengals. I'm going to take the Bengals +2. Give me the points. They're at home. Jamar Chase should be back this week. And I think the Chiefs are kind of just due for a loss. They've won 5 in a row. They're 9-2. They lead the league. Or no, sorry, the Eagles lead the league. But they lead the AFC. They can survive a loss pretty easily, and they're kind of due for one. Meanwhile, the Bengals are still fighting. They're 7-4. They've won 3 in a row. This is the exact same record the Bengals had last year. And they're basically the same team. They started a little slow, maybe a Super Bowl hangover, and now they're picking it up, and this is their statement win to put them back in the conversation of like, yo, shit, Bengals might like make a fucking run. So I think the Bengals win this game or at least keep it real close. So I'll take the +2 just to be safe. Next up, we've got the Chargers -125 at the Raiders +105. The over-under is 50.5. Spread is 2. And this one's easy. Don't even really think about it. Take the over. Over 50.5. The Raiders score points and have no defense. The Chargers score points and have no defense. Like, it's pretty easy. This game's going to be 70 points. You look at what the Raiders last week, they were in a 40-30 shootout against the Seahawks. Chargers 25-24 against the Cardinals, which isn't the craziest amount of points, but you take into account that the Raiders defense is way worse than the Cardinals defense, and this game should hit 50.5. Easy. So that should be my bet the house, but we'll get to that later. Next up, Sunday night, December 4th, 8:20 p.m. I can't believe this is the Sunday night game, considering there's a Dolphins 49ers game and a Chiefs Bengals game. But whatever, I'm not going to complain. It's still football. Colts +420 at the Cowboys -540. The over-under is 43.5. Spread is 11. Jeff Saturday got laughed out of the building last week. People were really upset about his timeout usage at the end of the game, which I do think got a little over-criticized. Meanwhile, the Cowboys look to keep things rolling. They're trying to catch the Eagles. They're 8-3. They've won 2 in a row. I do think the Cowboys are a legit threat to win the Super Bowl this year, but I think 11 might be a little wide. The Colts run the ball pretty well. They play pretty good defense. I do think the Cowboys win pretty easily, probably by at least oh man, I'm kind of talking myself out of the bet I want to take, but I think the Colts have a bit of a bounce back. They're still fighting for Jeff. They love Jeff. And on the other side, you got Mike McCarthy, who's a fucking clown. So he'll find a way to fuck up something in this game. So I'm going to take the Colts +11, but there's no way they win this game. Finally, Monday, December 5th, we got the 8:15 p.m. game. Okay game, I guess. Not really, though. Was a lot better 5 years ago. Saints +155 at the Bucs -180. Over-unders 39.5. Spread is 3.5. And this one sucks, man. Like, I took the Bucs last week. Like, I think about the exact same -3.5, and they blew it against the Browns. They were up 17-10. I swear, the whole game. They just played so conservative. Bunch of 3-and-outs, then punted. Finally, the Browns come back, tie the game, and then win in overtime. It was pretty disgusting. Like, their coaching sucks. I don't think Tom Brady's washed. I think he's good. I think if they let him loose, he can score a lot of points. So I'm a little bit nervous about taking the over-under. Now, let me just look at my board here. Yeah. Oh, man, I can't believe I'm taking it again, but Bucs -3.5. I just think the Saints suck. They're 4-8. Even though they're in the same division, so they might like fight a little bit harder. I think the Bucs really need a win. Like I was saying this last week, the Bucs really need a win, but they really need a win. So Bucs -3.5, I guess. That's all the games. The 2 teams on bye are the Cardinals and Panthers. Obviously not much to talk about because they're on bye. So I'll get into like the special segments, whatever you want to call them. We'll start with the Surgical 6. I gotta pull up my fucking handy dandy clipboard here with all my notes on it to read out my Surgical 6 because I planned this one and this one's hitting. I feel really confident about this one. First up, Ravens -365. They're beating the Broncos easy. Next, we got the Falcons +100. Little riskier, but increase that price a little bit. Steelers, I just think they should be trying to lose games, not trying to win games, and the Falcons should be trying to win games, not lose games. So Falcons plus 100. Next up, we got the Seahawks minus 345. If they want to stay in the playoff race, they really need to win this game, and the Rams suck dick. Next up, Bengals. That's a risky one. That's a fat risky one, and especially at plus 110, taking the money line. But I got a lot riding on the Bengals, actually, I just realized, but fuck it. Also taking the Cowboys minus 540, and then finally the Bucs minus 180. So just to recap that quick, it's Ravens, Falcons, Seahawks, Bengals, Cowboys, Bucs. Now for the primetime parlay, so that's where we do a bet from the Thursday game, the Monday game, and the Sunday night game. I'm just going to take all the unders. I know it's a gross bet, and it's like, why the fuck would you even want to do that? But unders have been hitting at a crazy clip in the primetime games, and all these games kind of look like unders. Bills, Patriots, kind of. Patriots, a really good defensive team, 43.5, take the under. Colts, Cowboys, again, two teams kind of led by their defense, under 43.5, take that. And then Saints, Bucs, these teams both just suck dick, so under 39.5, I guess we'll take. Next up, we've got our dog of the week. I said it before, but I love their spread pick. But I'm going to go with the Titans. Titans plus 200. It's a fat line. Yeah, I don't know. I do think they win this game. I think they run the ball down the Eagles' throat, and I think it's really close. And at plus 200, it's worth taking that shot for sure. So unit on that. And then finally, bet the house, my only multi-unit bet of the week. I'm going to put 3 units on the Ravens minus 8.5 against the Broncos. I feel like the Ravens are always my bet the house, and I'm not even a fan of them, and they've been pretty shit recently, but I'm still taking it. I just think after losing to the Jags, Lamar's pissed. That tweet that he put out, throw that tweet up, it's hilarious. He's fired up and ready to go. He's going to score a lot of points on the Broncos, even though they're a good defense. And the Broncos will probably score 0 points. This is going to be like last week I took the 49ers minus 9, and they only scored 13 points, and it still hit because they won 13-0. This is going to be very similar. I see the Ravens winning this game 14-0. Maybe if Lamar really pops off, they go off for like 21. But the Broncos are not going to score a touchdown. Like maybe 21-6. They score 2 field goals maybe because they got a big leg. McManus kicking. I don't know. That's what we're going with. That's the show. Subscribe, tell your friends, tell your mother, leave a comment, like, dislike, fuck off.